What is going on, everybody? What is going on? The Catch fam, I hope you guys are doing phenomenal tonight, man. Hope you guys all had a great Sunday and a great weekend. You guys know what time it is, man. I hope you guys are ready for another live 2023 fantasy football mock draft. Tonight we've got a 12-team full PPR mock draft. 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, 2 flex spots, kicker and defense, and 5 bench spots. So you guys know what to do, man. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe on the way in, because then you can hear me talk about fantasy football and add me to the other 10 people you listen to on a daily basis. It's that time of year. It's fantasy football season, guys. If you are not preparing, it's time to prepare, ladies and gentlemen. Hit the like on the way in, because that is good for YouTube videos like this one. But most importantly, guys, hop in the live chat. Let me know how you guys are doing. Let me know what's popping. Any fantasy football topics you guys want to go over tonight, any fantasy football questions you guys have, let me know. Because, like I said, guys, literally, it is August 27th. Next Sunday is the last Sunday before the NFL season starts. So let's freaking go, guys. So excited for this coming season. So excited for this coming fantasy season. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and send out the final warning on Discord. Mock is starting. And then we're not going to waste any more time. We're going to get this mock draft going, ladies and gents. So I'm going to send it out on Sleeper as well, just in case. But it looks like just about everyone's here. So, all right. Mock is Sleeper noises underway. Okay. So, nothing like super pressing we need to go over or talk about today. You know, Jimmy Graham caught a touchdown, or not a touchdown, just caught a pass, literally just caught a pass, not a touchdown pass, in the game against Texans. It's like, I didn't sit down and watch the game or anything. That's the only highlight I saw. So if anything came out of the preseason game tonight that you guys think is worth noting, let me know. But yeah, I mean, you know, like James Robinson released by the Giants, Kenyon Drake released by the Colts, but like, nothing major. You know, Donta Foreman yesterday went to the medical tent in the preseason game. We already talked about the Josh Jacobs situation last night. So, like, there's really nothing going on, which is good. A little bit of silence this time of year is good. But, yeah, if there's anything that's come up since last night that you guys think is worth noting, please let me know in the chat. But other than that, guys, definitely going to encourage you guys tonight to throw any fantasy questions you guys have in the chat. I mean, it's that time of year, you know, we really need to get dialed in. You know, let me know if you guys have already drafted, you know, for your primary leagues this year so far. Let me know when you guys are drafting, if there's just any general advice you guys are looking for, pointers, whatever it may be. And guys, let's get interactive in the chat tonight. Let's throw out some feedback to one another, and let's get it going, because like I've already said 2 times, like, I mean, guys, we're under 2 weeks from the season starting, essentially. Like, let's go. Let's get our fantasy gears in motion. All right, so 1.12. So what I'm doing right now is I'm actually practicing for my home league, which is a keeper league. And I haven't really decided on what my strategy is going to be. But I have the 1.12, and Christian Watson is the keeper I decided on. I got him in the 14th round. He's looked really good the last 2 weeks in preseason. That was my deciding factor, because I also had Amon-Ra in the 5th and Devonta Smith in the 6th, Jacobs in the 5th. I mean, I had some pretty good options. But that's who I'm going with. And, yeah, I think I still want to go back-to-back wide receiver right here, but part of me is considering going another route. But if I do that, then I have A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, like, locked up, right? But I'm also considering going hero running back. Then the other thing to consider is I still don't know the exact order of the first round. Well, I mean, I know the order, but I mean, I guess I can pull it up. I don't know. There are going to be certain players who are keepers. Let me see here. So, like, Tyreek Hill and Saquon Barkley aren't available. Nick Chubb's not available. Pollard's not available. Probably won't affect me. Garrett Wilson's not available. So I don't know why I picked why I chose him there. That doesn't help me at all. I didn't actually realize that. Olave's not available. So the first round is going to be a little bit different. It looks like everyone's chose their keepers. So Nick Chubb, Deshaun Watson, Pat Fryermuth, Tony Pollard, Tyreek Hill, Barkley, Walker, Garrett Wilson, Olave, Hurts, Fields, and Christian Watson as my keeper are all not available. So I actually realized I forgot Wilson was not going to be available, but I can just make the note, maybe Amon-Ra right there. But yeah, that definitely decides the strategy of just starting double wide receiver, because if Barkley and Chubb aren't there, and then Pollard's not available in the second, like there's just no. Unless I go like Derrick Henry, I guess, but I'd rather just wait till the third round. So, but yeah, I'm kind of practicing for that keeper league. This is my big money league. The league that Steve and I have been in since like the 5th grade. It's just continuously kind of grown and changed a little bit here and there. But I'll be practicing for that tonight and kind of noting that I have Watson in the 14th, which is just stupid. And I tell you guys all the time, if you play in keeper leagues, don't draft a kicker or defense. You can stream kickers and defenses. Draft rookies. Draft second-year guys. Draft players with value. Usually just draft rookies. But, I drafted Watson and Romeo Dobbs last year in the 14th and 15th, and it paid off pretty heavily for me. So, I also had a good draft last year. Like I said, there are a lot of options for me. But nonetheless, that's what I'm doing tonight. We're already in the 3rd round, so I'll stop talking about it, and let's see who's in the live chat tonight. All right. Brendan, what's good, my guy? Hello. Good to see you, bro. Smokey, what's up, bro? Thoughts on trading Jacobs and London for Chase? You'd have Burrow, Bijan, Gibbs, CD, DJ, Muth, Jacobs as your current lineup. Whew, that's a close one. Chat, let us know what you guys think about that. Which side would you rather have? Jacobs and London or Chase? I might keep the depth here and keep Jacobs and London, but man, it's really close. Burrow, Bijan, CD, DJ, Freiermuth, Jacobs with Drake London on the bench is really nice. But then you look at it in the other perspective, because you have Burrow is why I also tend to kind of think you should consider the trade. Then you have Burrow, Bijan, Gibbs, CD Lamb, Chase, DJ Moore in the flex, and Freiermuth at tight end. Both sides here are good. Where are you leaning, Smokey? It's a close one. I do kind of like, I prefer like the upside at wide receiver and all of that, but ultimately, man, Bijan, Gibbs, and Jacobs could be kind of lethal. And I'm a big DJ Moore fan, so having him as a wide receiver 2, I don't personally mind. I love CD as your wide receiver 1, but man, even like just having Drake London on the bench could look pretty solid for you. So that's a close one. All right, so I'm thinking realistically, I still think even having Watson as a keeper in this league I'm trying to practice for, I'm still going to end up drafting 3 wide receivers through the first 4 rounds. But part of me is tempted here to go like back-to-back running backs and get a little bit more of a solid RB2. Last year I did pretty well in this league because I had Jacobs and Eckler. I did well, but last year it's half PPR. This year it's going to be full PPR. So, I think I kind of go hero running back here. We'll go Ramondre. I'm not worried about Ramondre. If I don't go Ramondre right there, I feel like I like Kenneth Walker the most right now out of the available players. But nonetheless, you guys know who I'm going with here. I'll take DJ Moore as my wide receiver 3. And this is going to be a double flex format. So, having A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, since I forgot Garrett Wilson's a keeper, DJ Moore and Christian Watson as my primary 4 wide receivers makes me feel pretty good. And, I like getting that 4th wide receiver early in double flex format, so I kind of had that to my advantage. All right, enough about me. J-Dubs, what's up, man? How we doing? Talks, hello. Evan, good to see you, bro. How are you doing? Always good to have you in the house. What's up? Bryce, which trio is better? Chase, Pollard, Olave, or Bijan, Wilson, Ridley? Whoo. Oh, wait, sorry, Jimmy Graham did catch a touchdown? Gosh, okay, I really didn't pay attention. I maybe that's what I saw. I didn't know it was a touchdown. Jeez. Bryce, that is very close. Of course, we won't know until the end of the season, but I kind of like the upside of the Bijan and Wilson side, as much as the Chase Pollard Olave side is great. I mean, it's extremely close. J Fitness just did a real fantasy draft from the 1.8 thoughts. 12 teams, full PPR, 1 quarterback, 1 flex. Let's see. T-Law, Bijan, Rashad White, Monty, Algier, Elijah Mitchell, Garrett Wilson, Ridley, Debo, Deontay, Hollywood, JSN, Schultz, Myers, and Baltimore's defense. I like it a lot. For a 12-teamer, it looks great. I mean, yeah, you're starting T-Law, Bijan and Rashad White, Wilson and Ridley. You're flexing Debo. Could flex Deontay. Could flex Hollywood. Could flex Monty. Like Schultz, not a ton of upside there, but that's fine. I mean, the T-Law to Ridley connection is going to be huge for you, man. Yeah, team looks good. I'd be happy with it. How do you feel about it? For a 12-teamer, it looks very solid. Mecky to go. What's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see some of the OG members of the Catch Fam out here tonight. It's that time of year. Mecky, rate 10, team, PPR, Hurts, Pollard, Brees, JJ, Olave, Goddard, Drake. Woo. I mean, for a 10-teamer, the only contingency here is like Brees Hall and his situation, split backfield, coming off injury. What is his efficiency like? But yeah, I still give this team I mean, I really like a lot of these players, so I might be biased, but I probably would still give you like a 9 out of 10. I mean, I really like this team. And I still think Brees Hall brings a certain amount of upside to the table as well. But yeah, Hurts, Pollard, Brees, JJ Olave, Goddard, and Drake London looks fantastic to me. Marco, what's up, man? Good to see you. Marco says drop a like. What are we thinking at 1.4? Fields, C-Mac, Monty, Ridley, Watson, Andrews, Mike Williams, Cooks, Benches, Flowers, Mitchell, Mingo, Rogers, Mostart, Fournette, 2 flex, 1 QB. I mean, yeah, off the top of my head, looks pretty good. Let me make this draft pick very quickly here. So, man. This is a range where my eyes do look at certain wide receivers. But I think ultimately what I'm going to end up doing here, because I have that 4th wide receiver in my pocket, practicing for a keeper league, if you guys are like wondering what in the world I'm talking about, I think I'm going to end up going quarterback here. But I'm worried about that being realistic. And then I think I go with my double or my second running back there. But I'm worried about that being realistic because Hurts, Fields, and Watson are already off the board. And this is a league that values a quarterback position. But I just don't know. All right. Let's see here, Marco. So you're starting Fields, C-Mac, Monty. I'm okay with Monty as an RB2. Ridley, Christian Watson, Mark Andrews, Mike Williams, Cooks. I think Zay Flowers will ultimately end up in that second flex for you. I think he's going to have a better season than Cooks. But yeah, team looks pretty good overall. I mean, your bench is kind of like, I mean, I can tell it's a pretty competitive league. You know, your bench, like I like Flowers and Mitchell. I think Mingo's probably worth holding. I like Rogers behind Fields. Mostart has his own value, and Fournette, we'll see where he ends up and what that situation looks like. But, you know, I mean, I do think ultimately you have a good enough foundation here. I love the starting roster. How do you feel about it? Ben, I'm 12th pick. Not sure how I feel about Tony Pollard. I mean, I'm not against Tony Pollard in any way. Like, if you like him in that range, I'm not against it. I think he's going to have a very good season and brings a good amount of upside to the table. So, you know, it's slightly early. I still think if Barkley or Chubb are there, they're probably going to be potentially a little bit more consistent. But I do really like Pollard. And then now, like, you got to ask yourself the question, like, do you prefer Jacobs in that range? Because I do think in some leagues, Jacobs will move up to that kind of beginning of the second type range. And then potentially, you know, when you're drafting, what happens with JT, you know, the Colts said that he has till Tuesday to find a trade partner or whatever. Maybe we see something happen tomorrow or Tuesday. I don't know. That could affect things as well. Like, you know, before all the buzz and mess with Jacobs and JT, there were plenty of drafts where they were going in that same range. And obviously tonight they still go right behind Pollard. So, if you want to go running back at the 1.12, like I said, something about Barkley and Chubb, a little bit hard for me to pass on them right there. But I think regardless, you go running back, then wide receiver. Elias, of course, always down to rate some teams. Andrea, hello. What's going on? Elias had the 1.4 and a 12-man. Mahomes, JT, Brees, Deontay, DJ Moore, Kelsey. Okay. Pacheco in the flex. Michael Thomas, Odell, Eli Mitchell, Quentin Johnson, Mingo, Gus Edwards, and Roschon Johnson. I mean, it looks pretty good for a 12-teamer. Like, you sacrificed, a little bit of, depth at wide receiver, running back, especially wide receiver, because you got the early picks at Mahomes and Kelsey, quarterback and tight end. But I'm not really against that necessarily. I mean, Mahomes, Kelsey, JT, Hall, Deontay, DJ Moore, Pacheco. I mean, you did sacrifice a good amount of value at wide receiver, for example. So, Deontay to me is a wide receiver 2, preferably a wide receiver 3, even in full PPR. The ceiling is, I just don't know what the ceiling is going to be with Deontay Johnson. You have to expect positive touchdown regression this year, being that he had 0 last year. But man, I just don't know what the ceiling is exactly going to look like there. Pickens is kind of becoming the big play guy. I'm fine with DJ Moore as your wide receiver 2. And I'm assuming it's full PPR, but I prefer a wide receiver in the flex. Quentin Johnson could be a guy who sneaks in there. I mean, I like Pacheco. And then the only other note I would have is JT banged up, whether we want to admit it or not. Brees Hall coming off a major injury. So, tons of upside with both those guys. Tons of upside with them. But the combination of the two holds a little bit of risk at the end of the day. But, man, the upside from Mahomes and Kelsey, the upside of JT and Hall, there's a lot of upside on this team, Elias. But wide receiver is providing a low ceiling at the moment, as much as I like DJ Moore. We'll see. Quentin Johnson could be a big part of your season. I mean, the bench looks fine. And then, for me personally, I'm just not as high on Michael Thomas and Odell Beckham. I'm not against them. But what I would have done is gone for a little bit more consistency, potentially, at the wide receiver position, if that makes sense. As opposed to that upside from those two veterans. All right, let's see here. I mean, I don't know that I would actually do this in a real draft. I mean, give me Antonio Gibson, but this is a tough pick right here. I don't know that I'd actually take Kamara right there. Once again, I'm practicing for my keeper league, and I don't know. Things are just going to be a little bit different than how I normally draft, at least. Because right now I'd be looking at T-Law, Ramondre, Swift, A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, Christian Watson, DJ Moore is my starting lineup, and then I still have to draft a tight end. So, like, Gibson and Kamara on the bench kind of takes care of that running back depth. And then, I mean, I can still snag another running back here at some point in the draft, but one thing I need to make sure I do is draft a wide receiver in the 14th as a placeholder. All right, GT Sport, what's up, bro? What do you expect from Sutton? I'm a big fan of Sutton. I've been a fan of Sutton, like, before the Tim Patrick injury, before the Jerry Jeudy injury, whatever. I've talked about Sutton's stat lines a lot last year. Are they great? No. Are they good? Yeah, they're okay. Double-digit fantasy points in full PPR last year. Every game he was healthy except for 4. Was the ceiling high? No, not at all. But worst case scenario, the argument I had all off season long was like, if you had Cortland Sutton, you could rely on him in the flex. Like he averaged like 12 points per game. Like it's not great, but it's not awful. It's So that's been my argument. Then as the offseason has gone on, things have just gone in his favor. So, yeah, like Cortland Sutton, where he's going in drafts, wide receiver 4, 5, 6, preferably 5 or 6. I like him in that range. Like, he goes off the board here at 8.7. I think that's fine. Dom, I'm drafting at the 1.5 in a 10-team half PPR tomorrow. I don't know who to take with the first 3 picks. Keeping Pollard, but after keepers, I'm looking at Tyreek, Devontae Adams, Kenneth Walker. I mean, that would be a good start. That would be a great start for you. I definitely will go back-to-back wide receivers in the first 2 rounds at least, maybe even the first 3. But I like Walker behind Pollard. I definitely will get, I mean, I guess it depends on what round you drafted Pollard or whatever, but through the first 4 rounds, I would get 3 wide receivers, 1 running back, and then maybe go quarterback in the 5th. But it just depends on how the Pollard selection affects your draft. But yeah, use Pollard as your hero running back and use that to your advantage. Taylor, if my draft starts like this from the 1.11, tomorrow I'll be a happy camper. Let's go. Thoughts on taking Barkley at the 1.5 there instead of Hill? I mean, if it's full PPR, I'm going Hill. Oh, it's half PPR. I probably still go with the wide receiver value being that you can go hero running back and have Pollard as your RB1. Especially if you can end up getting Walker as your RB2. But yeah, Saquon Pollard would be kind of filthy. Bryce Woodside, Fields, Chase, Pollard, Olave, DJ Moore, Ayuk, James Cook, Njoku, Deontay, Herbert, Elijah Moore, or Bijan, Garrett Wilson, Gibbs, Ridley, Watson, Drake London, Addison, Dotson, Njoku, Cousins, Jalen Warren. Ultimately, I think the better roster is the first roster. But I think there's a lot more upside with the starting roster, starting lineup for the second team. So I probably go overall first team, but I like the second team a lot. Boss Man says he goes Tyreek. I agree. Prey says my draft crashed. Sure, Prey. Sure it did. All right. I'm just kidding. Man, like, Romeo Dobbs is here, and I really like him, but I don't quite know that I'm going to draft Dobbs if I already have Watson. I kind of wish I went Sky Moore or Sutton over Kamara because, well, I don't know, actually. Oh, well, I need a tight end, so I should probably do that. I've been punting at tight end lately, guys. I don't know. What's up with that? All right, well, I'll still go Romeo Dobbs here because I think he's the best available player. You never want to pass that up. Plus, he's kind of like a handcuff to Watson anyway, so whatever. I haven't really been on Adam Thielen at all this offseason, but I'm telling you, the touchdown he caught in the preseason, the stuff gets to me, man. Now I'm sitting here like, man, I guess if anyone's going to do it, he's kind of looked like the guy all preseason. I swear, I mean, off-season hype doesn't usually get to me, but preseason, when I start seeing the touchdowns actually show up, it affects me. Space Ghost, what's up, bro? Draft day came and went. I have mixed feelings about it. Ben, I got you. Space Ghost, I was at work and the service there sucks, so I missed my first pick. Realized I was 4th overall, had it auto-drafted Cup for me. That's fine. Taylor Gang, what's up, bro? Would have gone Hill over Cup. Yeah, I might be going Hill over Cup with the injury situation as well, but I think it'll be okay. Andrea, good luck in your draft tomorrow. In a non-PPR, do you prefer a wide receiver or running back more than one another, same value? Running back for sure. Space Ghost, you got Bijan and Garrett Wilson after getting Cup? What? You're definitely okay then. Cinnabon, what's up, bro? JSC, did my draft today? I got Amon-Ra in round 4? What? Let's see. J-Dub says, Cup is fine. Rams really sit players and defense is bad. Wouldn't be surprised if he sees 12 targets a game on average. Yeah, as long as he's healthy, he's going to be okay. Sorry, Taylor. Didn't mean to snipe you. My bad. In a non-PPR pick 9, would you go wide receiver, RB, or wide receiver, running back? Oh. Sorry, I read that wrong. Wide receiver, RB, or wide receiver, running back. I mean, it depends on the draft board. It depends on who's available. Like, I mean, every draft's going to be different, right? And, you know, it just depends on what you end up seeing. You have to read the draft, you know, every single time, guys. But preferably, I'm probably going running back, wide receiver. And, of course, it depends, like, 10 teams, 12 teams, all that stuff too. But probably running back, wide receiver. Space Ghost ended up with Fields, Bijan, Najee, Dobbins, Cook, Herbert, Mitchell, Kupp, Wilson, Watson, Ayuk, Flowers, Pitts. Yeah, I mean, you are good. Good to go, man. Fields, Bijan, Najee, Kupp, Wilson, Pitts, then Watson, Ayuk in the flexes, or one or the other if it's a single flex. Your team is beautiful. You have all kinds of running backs on the bench. I love Flowers and or Ayuk on the bench. Team is fine. Yeah, even in a 10 team, you're in a very good position, man. I do punt tight end all the time, but I'm starting to think, like, that's been the one thing that's been bothering me lately with my strategy going into the year. Like, what if I am underestimating tight end too much this year? Or what if Cole Kmet just sucks? Because I have a lot of shares of Cole Kmet. A lot. And last night I thought was my best draft of the season. And I accidentally passed. I mean, you guys were there. I definitely should have gone Freiermuth over Jerick McKinnon. And if I had done that, that team would have been so good. But that's been the one thing kind of bothering me lately. If anyone cares. So I will say for this keeper league, I will be taking some shots on some guys. Like rookies. Because it's a keeper league. I mean, I guess right here I'd be going wide receiver. Yeah, for sure. Man, Rashid Shaheed is gone. No. No. I'll just give myself... No, we can't. It's not realistic. I'm sorry. Taylor, I hope you didn't want Jameson Williams. I don't think anyone wanted him. It goes in line with what I was saying. Sorry, my bad. Okay. Everyone roast me in the chat now. Space goes, sorry to get straight to business. No, man, I'm glad you did so. I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. Gibbs or Walker? I mean, Gibbs, for sure, but Walker could end up being the better value. He comes a little bit cheaper. My league mates draft weird. I mean, that's what happens a lot of times. Dalvin went in the third. Yeah, I mean, home leagues, like sometimes when like we run a mock and like, you know, Mahomes goes in like the 2.4 and everyone's like, oh my God, this mock is ruined. I'm like, I guarantee you somebody's going to have a home league out there where Mahomes goes out earlier. Like, you know, like there's a, I don't know. There's a, I mean, even some of our leagues, like Godfather picked Garrett Wilson at 1.7. Like, and I don't even think that's that awful of a pick or anything, you know? But like these things happen, right? Or like maybe you have like a diehard Eagles fan. He takes Hurts and like, you know, 2.4, right? I mean, this just happens. All right, GZ, what's up, man? Rate my 12-team 3 PPR. Herbert, Hill, Olave, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Jordan Addison, Sky Moore. Running backs are Gibbs, Monty Rashad, Charbs, Jalen Warren, Chig at tight end, Ravens defense. Oh, no, you got to get rid of Brett Meyer, bro. I don't think his curse is going anywhere. He's looking bad. He's missing kicks in the preseason. You might have to replace your kicker. I mean, team looks pretty good here. Quarterback, you're fine. Wide receivers look good. Running backs look good. Tight end is what worries me. You know, like I'm not totally against Chig and Conquo. I just really worry about Tennessee's passing attack this year. So, personally, I don't feel fantastic about him. But you're just going to have to evaluate the waiver wire early on at the tight end position. But, I mean, yeah, you're starting and it's 3 wide receiver. Just saw that part. But you're starting Herbert, Hill, Olave, Keenan Allen, flexing DJ Moore. So you're good at wide receiver. Starting Gibbs, maybe starting Rashad White. I will say I don't prefer to have both Gibbs and Monty. Like, yeah, you get the handcuff. One of them goes down. You're in a good spot, all that stuff. But, man, like, it's just going to be a headache. Like, can I start both Gibbs and Monty this week? I mean, you can, and you probably can most weeks. But I from experience, I had DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams in a league last year, and it was awful. I just ended up starting both of them like all the time because I was like, I just don't know what to do. It definitely put a damper on my team at times. But team looks good, man. But yeah, you got to get rid of Brett Meyer. He's messing up. Cinnabon says, Bears going to be so much better. Don't worry about Komet. He'll be the same or a little bit better. I hope so, man. Should try IDP next year. Maybe. Tox says, John, you're going to love my next pick if he falls. Shaheed or Carlson or Gainwell? Okay, so it is technically early, but I'm going to pick a... Oh, my gosh, dude. What is happening tonight? You know what? Just leave it. Because I'm practicing for a keeper league. You know what? No, that makes it unrealistic. I don't know. Gosh. Oh, God. You guys are going to come for me in the chat. I don't know. I'm just going to take a wide receiver off the board because I need a wide receiver as a placeholder. So I was going to say if I just leave the defense, that looks like a placeholder. But I don't know. What if one of you guys wants to draft the Cowboys defense for a realistic build? Oh, my gosh, guys. I'm scared to see the bottom of the chat tonight. I promise you, I selected the Cowboys defense at 13.12, and I guess I was like a second too late. What is it? It's set to 30 seconds. Okay. I mean, that's what it usually is, but I guess I just got used to the last 2 nights we did real drafts, and the timer was so much longer. When drafting with John, the draft's always weird. Get out of here, pray. Emmy, thoughts on Kyron Williams? I mean, you know, I do think if you're starting to look at like some kind of unknown committees at the running back position, I don't want to make any moves just yet. Like, I mean, you're just going to fill up, like, there's going to be a player who's more, we know for sure is more relevant, who's available in your draft. You know, if you want to see, like, there's reports coming out that Williams is going to be like the pass catching back potentially for the Rams. They prefer him over Akers. Like, it was a great prospect coming out of college, but I don't know. Let's see it kind of come to life first. Go ahead and make him like a top waiver wire, like a guy that you star that you're keeping an eye on. But yeah, I think that offense has a lot of stuff up in the air. I'm not ready to make any calls on it quite yet, Emmy. All right, trying to get caught up here. Kobe, half PPR draft, 12-team, Fields, Bijan and Brian Robinson, Jalen Warren, Algier, Spears, Garrett Wilson, Locke in London, Hollywood Brown, Gabe Davis, Mark Andrews. Yeah, definitely looks like a pretty competitive league. But you also went quarterback and tight end early, which is like nothing wrong with that, but definitely affected parts of your team here. I mean, running back, like your depth is mainly handcuffs, which kind of worries me. Like even Brian Robinson's in a committee. I mean, I like that you got Algier, but I do think your wide receivers are okay. They're kind of interesting, but they're definitely okay. I mean, your team looks pretty good. You're starting Fields, Andrews, Bijan, and Brian Robinson, both the B-Robs. Garrett Wilson, Drake London, then flexing Lockett and Hollywood Brown if there's two flexes. And at times, you might end up with Hollywood Brown over Lockett, but I think probably starting out, you got Lockett there, right? So, yeah, team looks good, man. I'll give it a solid 8, 7.5, 8-ish. I think you move up to an 8 just because you have the upside at quarterback and tight end. The only thing that really worries me in half PPR running back is important, and kind of like your depth at running back, like I said, is mainly looking at handcuffs. What's the earliest you've ever taken tight end, John, 7th round? You know, all of last year, I did the same thing I did this year, and it worked out for me. I mean, I was really targeting like Goddard and Freiermuth were my guys last year, and admittedly, Hunter Henry. So at least I hit on 2 of those guys. But. Emmy, rate my team. Josh Allen, Richardson, Diggs, Lamb, Olave, Mims, Dobbs, Johnston, Madison, Rashad White. You only have 2 running. Oh, and Swift, but still 3 running backs. Pitts and Njoku. So you're starting Allen, Diggs, Lamb, flexing Olave, starting Madison and Rashad White. Swift could be in there too. Starting Pitts or Njoku. Yeah, team looks good. You kind of have an interesting amount of particular players at positions, but I do like this team. Hero defense strat. Kyle, where should players like Charbs, JSN, Addison, Hall, Gibbs, etc. go in a 10-team keeper league? I mean, it kind of depends on your league and kind of where they evaluate, like how aggressively they go after rookies and stuff, but you can expect some of those guys to go a couple spots earlier than usual. Sorry, Taylor. I mean, I had Judy and dropped him and picked up Marvin Mims. I mean, that could pay off. It's bold. I'm not entirely against it. Yeah, I was wondering, box drafted 2 kickers. I wasn't going to say anything. And we also have Sky Moore on that team. I like it. I do like that team. All right. Trying to get caught up here. B Silva, I am at 1.12. I had a weird draft tonight. Talks, have a good night, bro. Love you, man. Okay, I'm about all caught up here. Thoughts on DJ Chark? He's currently on my waivers. Definitely worth a look. But it just depends on who you're dropping for him. All right, so let me know if you guys want a team review. I'm going to start from at the bottom. So let's start with Box and the Jack. Okay. Watson and Njoku, you get a little stack action there. I like it. Whatever. It'll work. Both those guys are fine values there. Jones, Pierce, White, Zeke, Roshan Johnson. Not bad. Hill, Ridley, Higgins, Addison, Thielen, Jefferson, Justin Tucker, and Younghoe Koo. I was going to say the Chiefs defense, like you said too, but I had to do it. So let's hear. You're starting Watson and Njoku, Jones, and Pierce. Hill, Ridley, flexing Higgins, flexing Addison, could also flex Rashad White. Thielen, Zeke, Jefferson, Roshan's a good bench. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good solid team, man. The upside of Hill and Ridley could be really nice. Higgins as your wide receiver 3 is great. And you got pretty solid running backs as well. Good value quarterback, good value tight end, good bench, good squad. All right, J Fitness, where are we at, broski? We got Tua time and Rodgers. I like Rodgers behind Tua. Man, Rodgers went kind of late. Kind of interesting to see Young and Pickett off the board. I like it. Why not? Ingram at tight end, you're good there. Eckler, ETN, Monty, Bigsby. I like getting Bigsby behind ETN. I always do put this out there, though. If you're going to draft 2 running backs from the same backfield, I prefer 1 additional running back. So, like, I mean, I like that you went double quarterback at the same time, but maybe try to go 5 running backs total. Just because, like, let's say ETN gets hurt, like, week 6, and then, like, yeah, that's great. You got Bigsby now. He's the guy. But let's say Monty gets a little banged up, too. Then you're in a situation where your running back depth is really thinning quickly. You know what I mean? But Waddle, London, Dotson, Pittman, Sky Moore, Collins, wide receivers look good. Eagles defense, Money Mac. Team looks good, man. Starting Tua or Rodgers, Ingram, Eckler, ETN, Waddle, London, flexing Dotson, flexing Pittman. Monty, Sky Moore, Bigsby, Collins is a good bench. And you got a backup quarterback, too. Yeah. Looks nice, man. Albert, what's up, man? Good to see you. Get out of here, Cinnabon. Anytime you guys ask me to go over the team from the 1.13, I in my head, initially, I do fall for it. All right, Lamar Jackson at quarterback. Where this is Cat's team at the 1.10. Jawan Johnson and Luke Musgrave. How do you guys feel about Musgrave? I need to know because I have him in the Catch League or Catch Fam League number 4. So I need to know you guys' thoughts immediately on Luke Musgrave. Barkley, Chubb, Herbie, Charbs. I love that backfield. Debo, Mike Williams, Lockett, Flowers, Mims, Jones. Pretty good wide receivers. Cowboys defense. Yeah, we're good here. So you're starting Lamar and let's say Jawan Johnson. Barkley and Chubb. Debo, Mike Williams, flexing Lockett, flexing Flowers. Herbie, fully loaded, or Charbs could sneak in the flex, maybe. Mims and Jones are good to have on the bench, as are Herbie and Charbs. Wilson, why not? Musgrave, why not? Yeah, good teams tonight, guys. Guys came prepared. All right, Mr. Keep It Going at the 1-4. Mahomes, he's good. I've heard. Fryermuth, you know I love Pat. Bijan, Connor, Cook, Penny, Warren. Pretty good running backs. Olave, Ayuk, Pickens, Myers, Rice, Mingo. I mean, you're fine there, I guess. Kind of sacrifice that, like, 4th wide receiver getting the, Mahomes pick in the 3rd, but all right, am I going to knock Mahomes? No. Steelers defense, Tyler Bass. So we're starting Mahomes and Fryermuth, Bijan and Connor, Olave and Ayuk, flexing Pickens. Could end up flexing Cook, but maybe it's Myers. Maybe it's Rice or Mingo. You're going to have to kind of figure out that second flex, but ultimately looks pretty good. Yeah. Just solid drafting tonight, guys. All right, Taylor's at the 111. Running backs are shaky. Draft tomorrow has no kicker, so I didn't take one. That's fair. All right. Herbert, Waller. That's fine. I like a second tight end behind Waller with the injury history, but it's still fine. Najee, Pacheco, Javonte, Mostart, Kendre. I agree. RBs are a little shaky. Diggs, Amon-Ra, Keenan Allen, Lazard, Bateman, Justin Ross, Jaden Reed. Is your league tomorrow a double flex or 1 flex? I like this team more for a 1 flex. But I do like Lazard and Bateman where you got them, and even Justin Ross and Jaden Reed. But, you just need one of these wide receivers at the end to really step up this season, be consistent for you. But, I mean, we're starting Herbert and Waller, Najee and Pacheco, Diggs and St. Brown, flexing Allen, flexing Lazard is what I would say. Javonte, is a guy... And even Mostart or Miller to a degree. Those guys could sneak in if you need RB help. Big question with Bateman is, like, what is his health? I mean, it says his foot is 99% healthy. I mean, okay, Rashad, we'll see. But, yeah, I mean, Dean looks pretty solid here. I do kind of slightly worry about your ceiling at running back between Najee and Pacheco and even Javonte. Like, I just don't know how much upside's really there. Like, they're all fine where he took them, but think you at least need someone in there who gives you some pass catching upside in PPR. But other than that, team looks pretty solid, man. How do you feel about it? Boss man, what's up, dude? Fields. I like Fields. Kelsey. I like him too. Gibbs, Sanders, McKinnon, Jamal Williams, Deuce Vaughn. Okay. Adams, Watson, Jason, Cooks, Dell, Moore. Ravens defense, Jason Myers. Pretty solid. I mean, yeah, like obviously, quarterback can tie in through the first 5 rounds, so you're going to have some of these guys in the later rounds step up, but they certainly can. So starting Fields and Kelsey, Gibbs and Sanders, Adams and Watson. Then I will say, like, your flexes you're going to have to kind of figure out. Like JSN, Cooks, McKinnon, Jamal Williams, especially the first 3 weeks, Tank Dell, and even Rondell Moore. These are all names that can easily fit into the flex. It's just going to be like, who is it really going to be who steps up and is the most consistent? We'll see. Good defense, good kicker, though. Prey at the 1.1. All right, Prescott at quarterback, Andrews at tight end. We got Madison, Akers, Cook, Singletary. Okay. J.J. Smith, McLaurin, Tony, Beckham, Mooney, Hyatt, Dolphins defense, Harrison Butker. So we're starting Prescott and Andrews. Dang, Prey drafted Prescott. That can't be real. Madison and Akers. I like that. Not a ton of upside, but I'll take it. JJ and Devonta Smith. I love that. Great start. Flexing McLaurin. Little early on Tony. You probably didn't need to take him there. You may have got Tony at like a round later if you wanted him. But whatever. I mean, yeah, like Tony, Beckham, Mooney, Hyatt, any of these guys could end up being in the flex. Dalvin Cook could be in the flex for you. I mean, this looks like a very Prey team. I'm going to say it's pretty solid. Upside of running back scares me a little bit. But overall, I think this team would be fine. All right. J-Dubs, Chubb or Saquon? I'm probably going Saquon. Judy gets hurt every season. That is true, Emmy. LBR, should I trade Gabe Davis and Brian Robinson for Kenneth Walker? I would personally, but I really like Walker. Chat, what do you guys think about that one? Walker or Gibbs? I still go Gibbs there. AJ, Travis Etienne and Pacheco for Amari Cooper and Javonte Williams. Who wins? I'm getting the running backs. I'm weak at running back. I have Tyreek and Adams. It's a pretty, I agree with Katz, it's a pretty even trade. I like Cooper. I think Cooper is the best fantasy player out of the 4 players. Wide receiver 10 last year. I like that. You're obviously in a good spot at wide receiver. If you need the running backs, I think you can do the trade, though, but it depends on what other wide receivers you have on your bench. But yeah, I mean, if it's good for both sides, I don't think anyone really wins or loses. So, I think the team's just fine. Or trade's just fine, excuse me. Okay, let's take a look at my team real quick. We kind of drafted. We drafted a little bit quicker than usual. So, all right, like I said, for tonight, I was practicing for my keeper league. I have Christian Watson in the 14th round. So, let's see what I did here. So, T-Law and A-Rich, like I said, keeper format. I'll take some shots on guys towards the end. This wasn't really the best example, but, like, where did Tank Dell get drafted? Like, maybe I go Hyatt over J-Mo there. I don't even really like J-Mo. I just took him because I accidentally auto-picked that pick to the Niners defense. Where did Tank Dell go? In the 11th. He was gone. But yeah, so maybe I'd probably go like Jalen Hyatt right there or Jaden Reed. Might be a little bit of a reach for Reed. Generally in a keeper format, like I wouldn't draft the Bills defense. I'd probably draft Jalen Hyatt in the 12th, Jaden Reed at 13.12. I'd have Christian Watson at the 14th. And then, I don't know, maybe I do draft a kicker or defense in the 15th because I don't like having to drop a ton of players. But yeah. Stevenson, Swift, Gibson, Kamara, I'd be okay with those running backs. Maybe I want a 5th running back, with Kamara missing a little bit of time there. But ultimately, if this was true to my keeper league, I'd have A.J. Brown, Garrett Wilson, DJ Moore, Romeo Dobbs, J-Mo, which I don't personally like, and then Christian Watson, Lawrence, and Richardson at quarterback, Kmet at tight end. So I'll be starting T-Law, Kmet, Stevenson, Swift, A.J. Brown, Wilson, DJ Moore, Watson. So I actually really like that. Gibson, Kamara, Dobbs. I would not draft J-Mo, but J-Mo and Richardson on the bench. So yeah, pretty good practice. I'm going to do another one of these this week. Just curious, why draft Anthony Richardson when you have T-Law? Purely for the keeper league. If you can get the value on younger guys, because ultimately younger guys are falling later in your draft, then I say you go for it. So if Richardson has this rookie season everyone thinks he can potentially have, then if I can go into next year with my QB1 in the 11th round, that just helps tremendously. You know what I mean? So that's all. Okay, pretty good practice tonight. Why not? All right, guys. So what I need to do is I need to get a mock draft film for tomorrow. So if you guys are interested in running a mock, I'm going to do that right after the stream. And it will be a 10-team format. I do need to get 1 or 2 8-teamers done. I literally need to get 2 8-teamers done, 2 10-teamers done. Then I have a video out for every draft position from 8 and 10 teams. And then I have 5 videos for 12-teamers. I was trying to save 12-teamers as close to actual fantasy season as possible. So I'll just be cranking those out. So let's see here. I need to draft from the 1.3 or the 1.5. So we'll just do the 1.5. So I will send this link out in just a second here. And if you guys are willing to help me out, we'll run a little 10-teamer off air that I'll use for a video. Team of the night. I really like Jay Fitness's team. Cats, I also really liked your squad. If Jawan Johnson and Musgrave work out. Man, Brennan's team could be really good too. Let's see. Jay Fitness has Tua, Ingram, Eckler, Etienne, Waddle, London, Dotson, Pittman. I just really like that starting lineup. Monty, Sky Moore to lead the bench with Bigsby and Collins. Rodgers behind Tua. I really like that team. J-Dubs, please just message me on Discord so I make sure I get your request in, because I'll do that for you, man. So just annoy me on Discord until we do it. How's that sound? All right, guys. 10-teamer off air. Link is in the chat. Thank you guys for drafting tonight. Let's roll into another one. Video will come out tomorrow. Thank you guys for helping me practice for my keeper league tonight. Thank you guys for running another 12-team mock with me. Guys, check out the channel. We have mock drafts from all over the place. 8 teams, 10 teams, 12 teams. All kinds of different draft positions. You guys know what it is. Guys, next Sunday, the last Sunday before fantasy season begins. It's time, ladies and gentlemen. Whether we like it or not, it's here. We've been waiting all year. So let's get ready. Okay. Make sure you guys hit the like on the way out. Subscribe if you guys are new. Thank you guys all for being here. And links down below, Discord, Instagram, all that stuff. So that's going to wrap it up for the night. Thank you guys for drafting with me. Thank you guys for talking fantasy. And I should be on tomorrow, so I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. So with that, I will say thank you guys so much for watching and or listening. And remember, you saw it here on The Catch. And